productivity. He's a man of all means. He covers a lot of territory, that he wants to share with us. So with no more to say from myself, your humble brother Earl Sidney, let me bring forth our beloved brother, Imam Shahid Abdullah, from the great municipality of Roselle, New Jersey. Thank you for that hearty round of applause. I'm going to come behind him. Give me a hearty round of applause also for speaking to you. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbi Alameen. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. I'm going to give you a few words today relevant to not just the Juneteenth. Juneteenth is what we're here for, but it's more about the survival of the African American people. Many of us are aware of some things in dealing with the voting, elections, and the repositioning of voters, trying to take away the power of the African American people. Not just our vote, but our presence.
Yes, Lord.
And if you notice, throughout America, you see a big shift is taking place. If you go through some of these apartment buildings, you see that they're doing their best to eliminate the African American people and get us all into one area. And in more affluent areas, they're trying to get us out of those areas. They're bringing in foreigners. This is a process. This is not a game that just started. What we have to be aware of, this is part of a bigger scheme that has been going on for hundreds and thousands of years. They're just able to pick up the piece they can use and how to use it with the people they are in competition with or they are in a gathering with. They learn how to use the scheme. I'm going to talk a little bit about Juneteenth because many of us are now beginning to celebrate Juneteenth. We have the Christians celebrating Juneteenth. We have the Muslims celebrating Juneteenth. And even our brothers who are Hebrew, African or Black Hebrews, they're celebrating Juneteenth. But why are you celebrating Juneteenth? Do you have an idea about the reality of Juneteenth? So we should know about this, Lord, because we may be celebrating something that's not in our favor. It may be something that's going against us down the line. Juneteenth is a very important day when we recognize how it came about. But if we don't know those things, it can work against us. You know, they say the name Juneteenth is a conglomerate of the word June and the 19th. They say that the African slaves didn't know how to say June 19th. And many African Americans today buy into that. They buy into that, which is absolute nonsense, because the people were saying 14th, 15th, and 16th, and 17th. Why, when it comes to the 19th, they couldn't say 19th? That was a lie that the Europeans started to make us think all our efforts are efforts that are made by people who cannot adjust themselves properly in amongst the world population. They want us to look weak. They don't want us to look uneducated, even though we have invented many, many things during that time. But they still try to give this impression that we are not productive. They give this impression that we are not intelligent. They give this impression that we need them. We need them to develop a civilization for ourselves, or a community for ourselves. Anytime we think independent, They have this concept so intact that anytime we start to think independent of ourselves and try to do something for ourselves, they have it built in to make us believe that's anti-racism. That's against European Americans. They call it against white people. But that's just to psych us out. It's to keep us from becoming independent and flourishing in America like all other cultures are, like Chinese Americans who built Chinatown, German Americans, Spanish Americans. All these people are using and taking advantage of their ethnicity and their culture to make a very powerful statement in America. America is a perfect place on earth for people to build independence. It's a perfect place on earth for individuals to grow and build up their individuality. It's a perfect place for groups and cultures to build their cultural identity and use that cultural identity to become wealthy. Use that cultural identity to become prosperous. This is a power that we have to learn. We have to learn that we inherit this power. But how do we do that? First thing we have to do is begin to learn and question the information we've been given. Learn and question the knowledge that we have been taught. We all have been taught by the colonial mind. We all have been taught by what they call this colonialization of the mind. We all been taught by the European American. There's no getting around it. I know some of us sound like we're very intelligent. Some of us have a lot of money. Speaking of African American people, but deep down in that side of their subconscious, in their mind, they still struggle with the idea whether or not they believe God is white. They still struggle with the idea that God is a man. They still struggle with the idea of racism, of superiority, inferiority. They struggle with that when they're asleep, they struggle with it. When they get up, they struggle with it. When you look in the mirror, you're doing the same thing. You're struggling with that concept between the black and the white. You're struggling with that racism that was put deep into the mind of the African American people during education, during the religious development. We struggle with it. But there is a way out. And that way out is that we have to learn how to get control of our conscious mind. When God created the human being, He created the human being as a mind. And as a mind, the human being has the power over itself, as long as it can control it and use it to its advantage.
That's right.
But when that mind is controlled by another people, then it's hard for them to benefit from it. And this is why we don't see Juneteenth with the proper vision. We're not looking at Juneteenth. We look at Juneteenth and think it's about celebration. We look at Juneteenth and think it's the time our forefathers found out they were free, so they celebrated it. That's an absolute lie. An absolute lie. We became free in 1776 when we fought in the independent war, the Revolutionary War against Great Britain. Our foreparents died in that war. Right. Our foreparents fought for the freedom of the Americans. That's when we first became American. That's the first time we was known as African American people, after we won our freedom from Great Britain. When you get an opportunity, take a look at the Emancipation Proclamation, what Lincoln gave to the southern states as a threat to them if they don't come back into the Union, that they were gonna free the thinking and put out a law that no state can hold in hostage a person who's not doing it on their own. So emancipation comes to free somebody from someone else's control.
Right.
It's not a political freedom. Emancipation wasn't saying this is a political freedom that they're giving to African Americans because they already knew that African American was free. We was free at the time of Emancipation Proclamation, but they didn't tell us that. They didn't want us to know that. They didn't want us to feel as they feel. They don't want us to think that we are equal with them. So they didn't tell us those things. So what they have done is completely caused the African American people to walk around and think they're celebrating something that they gave us. They make us believe that we're celebrating something that they gave us out of the goodness of their heart, and which is a lie. As I said, we want our freedom, and we should think like that. African Americans should understand that we want our freedom when we fought against Great Britain. That's when we became free. Same time European Americans became free. Same time the Native Americans became free. Same time all the people who was fighting against England became free, we became free. 1776 was that day. And 1783 is when we claimed ourselves to be African American. Just like the European American became European American. The Native American became a Native American. We all accept that identification.
That's right.
But what is Juneteenth? Let's look at it for a moment, and then we're gonna sort of summarize what we're doing here today. Juneteenth, have you ever asked yourself, what is that language? What do you think the language is? Anyone have any idea what language Juneteenth is? Huh? What?
Gala.
Ah, somebody must have been listening to some of my tapes.
Gala language.
Well, that's true. Most of us don't know what language that is, because they wouldn't tell us. Because they didn't want us to think we ever created a language. Because they don't want us to see ourselves as equal to all other people on the planet.
Right.
We started creating the language back in 1676. Creating a language for ourselves, because we couldn't speak our native tongues amongst ourselves, because the European American didn't want us to start translating ideas and concepts that he couldn't understand to one another. So they would cut out our tongues. They would torture us every time we spoke amongst each other in a native tongue. So our people had to figure out a way to communicate so that the European American couldn't understand what they were saying, but at the same time, those who they were talking with could understand every word they were saying. So they took the English language, Northern England, that came from Northern England, and what most of the people call it Scottish, Scotland, out of Scotland. They took the language they were speaking, and they mixed it with some Arabic dialects. They mixed it with some African dialects. And it became the language that we have today called Geechee language. Some say Gullah Geechee. That language was created by your and my forefathers here in America. The same as the Jewish people speak Yiddish. That's a language they created in Germany. That doesn't come out of Jerusalem or anywhere like that. Yiddish comes out of Germany. When the Jews are in Europe, they use a little bit of Hebrew and a little bit of a couple of other languages and put them together with the German, classical German. And that created Yiddish. And if you knew how to interpret German or knew the sound of German, whenever Yiddish people speak, you think they're speaking German. But they're speaking the language they created.
Yes, sir.
Our forefathers did the same thing, created their language. So when you're celebrating Juneteenth, celebrate the whole of Juneteenth, the meaning of Juneteenth.
Yes,
not
sir.
what the European American has given you.
That's right.
Celebrate what your foreparents thought about it, what they did it, why they brought it into existence. The whole idea of the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery, in the sense that it was the cause and effect. There was no cause and effect of slavery dealing with the Civil War. The Civil War was created and started by the Southerners, formed themselves into another country.
That's right.
Away from the Union, because they didn't like the deal they was getting when they were producing products. The way this country was set up, But in the South, we had a lot of the raw materials being produced, like cotton, tobacco, and rice. All of those things being produced in the South. And they would produce them and send them into Europe so Europe could make the products from them. And Europe would charge them a tariff for bringing them into the country. So they had to pay Europe to bring the raw materials into Europe, into England primarily. And then England would make these products, and then they would bring the products back to sell back in America, but they brought them into the northern area of America. And so the northerners charged England a tariff. So now everybody was getting paid except the southerner. So the southerners say England is getting paid this tariff. They say that the northerners are getting paid a tariff. We want part of that tariff. And the northerners were resisting it. So the southerners say, we're going to create our own country. We're getting out of here. We're going to secede from the Union. And that was the reason the secession took place. Had nothing to do with the African slaves. Absolutely nothing. And we should stop thinking about that. We should get that out of our mind. Every time a European American tells you about they were fought the Civil War because they're freeing some Africans from slavery, you tell them they're alive.
Tell them a lie. That's right.
Tell them that you are lying. You fought in the Civil War because the southern states wanted to break away from the northern states because they wasn't getting as much money.
That's right. That's right.
So that was the whole idea. And we have to look at the truth and use the truth as our foundation to move forward. We can't move forward on a lie.
No.
We can't move forward on a lie. We can't. We look at each other and we look around and say, why can't, this is the terminology they use, we should get out of this terminology, why can't black people unite? Number one, there's no such thing as black people. And you're hearing that from one who used to teach it. We used to teach it up and down in America when I was in the Nation of Islam. We taught it so much, James Brown started singing Black and I'm Proud. Black is beautiful.
Lord.
Nobody knows any more about black than us, those who are descendants from the Nation of Islam during the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We knew all the ins and outs, the codes, and a story about Yaqub and everybody else on this concept of black. These people using black now have no idea, and they're being manipulated. They're being manipulated from the reality of who they are. They're being manipulated into an ignorant way to identify oneself. There's no such thing as black people. There's no such thing as white people. Those are colors. And when you check the history, you'll find that the term white came in during colonial time to stop revolutions in America. So England let the colonists, literally the colonists, create this word white, identifying people from Europe. And that gave them privileges to carry on, privileges to be in judging and things of that nature. But it also said that people who were not called white people couldn't carry guns, couldn't protect their family.
That's right.
Couldn't vote. It built this concept of black and white.
That's right.
In the minds of the people. And this is something we need as African American people to get out of. We have to start changing our way of thinking.
Yes.
We have to change our way of thinking and our behavior. The behavior is not going to change until our thinking changes.
That's right.
If we don't change our thinking, then the behavior is going to keep being a behavior that somebody could come along and manipulate. They manipulate us almost as they manipulate dolls, as they manipulate toys. They just turn on a record and we'll start dancing. They just give us a ball and we'll start dribbling. They got all these things and ways to get us to move around and be entertained because we don't know who we are.
That's right.
If we knew for 1 minute, if we knew for one whole year, if one whole year the African Americans and people knew who they were and how they came into America, how they were born in America, how they developed America from their own knowledge, their own skills, the whole world would change. Not just America would change. The whole world would change under the impact of 43 million people with the knowledge of self.
That's right.
Our problem is just that we don't have the knowledge of self. So everybody is manipulating us with the knowledge they have. So we have to be very cautious, and we have to take into consideration this very important time we're living in. Use Juneteenth as the day of progress. Use Juneteenth as a day we come together and collaborate for making progress, making education, building up ourselves. Use Juneteenth as a stepping stone into the future, not something we just sit down and celebrate. Use it as it was meant to be used. And when we do that, we'll find that every year we come together with new ideas and new concepts that will put us into the future. In fact, we'll find ourselves birthed in the future.
That's right.
When we use these things, just coming in something as important as Juneteenth, using it proper. This is the way our forefathers intended for it to be used. I think. Sound like I heard. We're on the time schedule here, and but I want to just close out the talk with the knowledge of how we do these things. We just don't want to get emotional about this. We want a step-by-step plan.
That's right.
A step-by-step plan on how to rethink our minds, restructure our mind, restructure our thinking. Each individual has to do this. It can't be done by one person standing up here talking and everybody else just suddenly change. No, it's not going to happen like that. It's going to happen when each one of us, each individual, begin to change in our own mind. Stop using terms that keep us enslaved to another concept, a concept that is slavery. We have to stop using black as we identify ourselves. Use African Americans like our forefathers did in 1783. They the ones that started that.
That's right.
Use and understand our language is the Geechee language. Our people all over America, the African Americans, came from that foundation. And then we'll build on all the developments and ideas and concepts that our people have been taking over these years, inventing the light bulb, inventing all of the things that cause us to make progress. We'll use those things for progress. I see, in closing, that we're gonna get ready to make select now, but keep those things in mind. And I've accumulated a lot of this information in my books. I have my books, and my table is over there. I have books, and we have a special price on all the books today. One is the Spirit of Bilal, The Success is Automatic, The River of Gold, and Uncovering the Scheme, Preventing the Evolution of the African American People. And then we also have a magazine over there called The Negro Market. It was written in 1932. It's powerful. You have to get it. Get them for yourself, read them, and let's grow our minds. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Shahid, advertise the program tomorrow.
That's
the program, brother.
Father's
That's why I
Day.
came up.
Father's Day, brother.
I said I wouldn't even come up here and talk unless you let me mention what we're doing Sunday on Father's Day. Well, we're having a Father's Day program. And Roselle, the city of Roselle, is presenting the program, and it's a fashion show, and it's with our style. It's the Bilalian. It's featuring the Bilalian as a style. Now, this is the first time I know about, but some of you might know more, but the first time I know about African Americans was featured with their own design. I'm not talking about something we got from the European American and cut the pants legs off or put the hat on backwards. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a style that came from the inspiration
Go ahead
from
now.
one of us.
Yes.
To look at what is important to our people. What can unite our people? This is why when you look at the Bilalian suits in church, you will see a pocket, a center pocket.
That's right.
You
Talk
notice
about
all
it.
animals, all mammals who have pockets on them, like kangaroos and so on, it's life.
That's right.
The pocket resembles life. It's a symbol of life. And this is what it represents in our design.
Yeah.
And everything we wear in design is designed around that. We have double-breast suits, double-breast overcoats, leather coats, all of these things. Come out Sunday. It's this Sunday at in Roselle. It starts it's 3 to 6. And that's the address is 1268 Shaver Avenue, Roselle, the Mapi Center. We got flyers over there. Come to the table, get flyers so you know how to get there. It's free admission, and we're serving food, free food. Come on out, looking for you there. It's going to be powerful. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Imam Shahid. Believers, it's about time for Salat. So we're going to need some brothers to come down here to get that tarp and lay it down so we can put that top on the ground and put our head on the ground. So please, believers, we need some help. There's a tree down there by my right. The tarp is down there. So we need a few brothers to come get that tarp, lay it out so we can make Salat. And then we're going to have a presentation from the Industrial Bank, our own black bank here in the great city of Newark. We don't have that many in the country, but we're honored to have one here in Newark. And we're going to talk about money. We all need some money.
Yes,
we
Lord.
need to invest some money.
Yes.
We need to save some money so we can buy some of this land, put our people in it, and make more money, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So please, believers, come down here. Let's get the tarp, put it out so we can make prayer. And here's the representatives from the Industrial Bank to show us how to make some of that hard, cold cash, inshallah.
Again, Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Goodbye.